Well, hello, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Boring Guy Plays, and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we are building Azure Delta. As I mentioned in the last episode, this is a two-parter this week, so we are picking up pretty much as soon as the last episode ended. So I hope you enjoy. I was going to put in an additional cargo harbour, but I think we're probably okay. I don't think we need another one, but yeah, we definitely will get our passenger terminal in here. I think we might turn this at a 45 or so and have it sort of a little bit further out of the way to the cargo terminals. I think it makes sense anyway. Alrighty, so we've got the main sort of design for our cargo harbours. I'm going to connect up our ship lanes. We'll have wide shipways. And then we might have them sort of branching off. Like so. So that part is now sort of planned out, the actual harbour itself. We do still have a bit of room in which we can get some industries built. I think we'll try and get rid of or avoid sort of outwardly polluting industries. If you get what I mean, like we'll try and get more warehousey type stuff in here, which hopefully is something that we'll be able to work out and have happen. You never know though, do you? These are not quite even sized. Slight difference in size. This one's fine actually. But is it even difference in size? No, it looks fine actually. I'm just making stuff up here, I think. No, they are. I don't know what I'm talking about. But that's fine. We've done it now, so we might as well do it. So our gateway road. Let's see what we can get to work out here. And I think here we might have an exit going towards this area here and an exit going into the airport itself. And then we can, of course, do the same thing sort of coming back the other way. I think that makes sense to me. Question is, where would sort of the main road be? Oh, we actually need an entrance there as well. Okay. All right, that is good to know. I think that's probably fine. Might even be better if we have a larger road coming in here, maybe. As our sort of entrance point. That does, of course, give us a cul-de-sac, though we could always extend this road in as a sort of secondary connection. It does give us a little bit of extra room. Ooh, and we could also have a connection into the airport from the cargo area as well. Oh, I'm just thinking of all the big ideas here, aren't I? And do we want to allow traffic coming out of the airport to head to the port? We probably should. If we're going to all of this effort to do all this, we probably should just make sure that all of, the potential sort of movements are covered, I guess. Makes sense to me. That also gives you, I guess, your sort of reversing movement if you need to come back into the airport, though it's going to be a little bit risky, I think, because you'll need to go across, more than one. Could we have it come in on the inside? Maybe. Come in like there or something. That works, I think, honestly. Just need to fix this. Make this a little bit less gross. Okay. Question is, are we going to have our primary movement going through to Hixon Highway? Is it Hixon Highway or Hickey Highway? Hickory Highway, which of course becomes Thornton Street. Or do we want to have it branch around onto our motorway? It's actually a decent question because we deliberately made this not a motorway grade connection. All right, I think I know what we're going to do. I've been thinking long and hard about this. I think what we will do, we will convert this to motorway standard. We will have a full junction on this motorway here. And we will have a half junction up here only going towards the CBD. And we'll try to do our best to maintain Thornton Street without just becoming a rat run to get to the motorway. We'll also try and sort of maintain access while we are building this as well. So I think we will have our ramps over here. We'll need to get rid of some of our soundproofing, at least temporarily, while we get everything into ship shape. I imagine our residents in these areas are not going to be happy, which is indeed unfortunate. I don't know if this was my original plan, building it like this, but that's how it's ended up. And that's, I guess just how the cookie crumbles. Looks like we'll have a small amount of housing lost as well. All right, getting to the pointy end now. I think we will have this pass under. And we might convert some of these to bridges or elevated sections as well to facilitate that happening. We've got our first connection. Actually, that is a functioning connection. That will work. You can get into the airport, you just can't get back out, which is interesting. And then we should be able to reuse sort of the majority of these connections, I think, without too much trouble. All right, first connection done, sort of. More like it. Next, we'll need to sort of have a bit of a whoop. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know if I like it. All right, that's one half of it done, isn't it? I think we can actually disconnect, I should say, this now, because any cars wanting to go in that direction can use. So I said the Milk Highway for a second. The Mill Highway, they can actually use that now. Means we can also remove that, which is good, because that was taking up a bit of space that I wanted to use. Now, the actual hard part is going to be getting these roads parallel. I actually probably should have thought of this before I built them separately, but they should be reasonably okay. And of course, we need to keep in mind that this is sort of being built in amongst an actual working highway as well. Given that there should be no traffic or very little traffic coming down screen, I think what we might do is temporarily sort of bridge this connection. Like so, and that should allow us to make the rest of our connections and remove the old trumpet as well. This is actually going to be a challenge, I think. We might need to take this connection out a little bit more. I will actually pause for this one because this is already a connection that we've sort of activated. So we might see if we can maybe make a connection like that. That might be a bit better. Okay, and then we'll be able to make our connection across there. Sort of. Okay, is this great? No, it's absolutely not great. It's actually pretty terrible. But will it work? Yes, it will. What have we got left to do? We've got bit of relaying to do there, first of all. And I think what we can actually do, at least temporarily, once again, this is all temporary. I don't want this to be yucky all the time. I think what we can do is make a connection there and do the same thing in the other direction as well. That should give us a good, decent, temporary connection, I think, between the old sort of connection and the new one. Right. I think that makes sense. So we've just got the two connections we need to make now. I actually need to pull this back. It's going to be too close to where it breaks off, I think. More like that. That should be fine. And we're also going to need to do something about that because we've got a pylon in the middle of our road. So that should actually be everything. This should be functioning. Of course, we need to clean up everything a little bit. I'm not entirely happy with this connection here, so we might see if there's anything we can do to pretty it up a little bit. Can see if we can get rid of the keys on it, potentially. Okay, so that should function. We're of course going to need to do some work prettying it up, making it a little bit nicer. We also need to fix this intersection as well, but it will work, at least for the moment. It's very ugly though, isn't it? I don't usually build clover leaves, and you can probably tell. We might need to do something about that. Okay, and I've been thinking about this intersection here and how to make this make sense, because there's a couple of movements that we now want to discourage. I mean, I think we've always wanted to discourage turning right from here. Can you do it? No, you can't. So that's fine. That's actually already taken care of. And in this instance, we're still allowing a left turn there, which we don't want to. So, in fact, in that regard, we could actually make this a diamond, couldn't we? Almost. Right? That makes sense, doesn't it? So we only want people to come off this highway and go left. And we only want people to be able to turn onto it from this direction as well. So we can restructure this just as a fairly standard diamond. And that's going to, well, pretty much be like the cleanest connection as well. So if we have our ramp breaking off here, and we can have it sort of braking quite hard, and then basically the opposite in the other direction. That hasn't really made a good connection though, has it? Let's try that again. Okay, that's better. What about in this direction? This direction needs to be... Oh, it's actually a bit more complicated, isn't it? I think we can still make it work, though. Actually, hang on. Pull his back further. I don't even know if this is a valid type of interchange or I'm just making this up, because this is one that's coming straight from my brain, people. This is not a you know, normal interchange design. So it could be bad, it could be not as bad. Who really knows though? Does this make any sense whatsoever? I'm actually really not sure at this point. I mean, it's sure to be a laugh, right? If nothing else. Don't know why we've got overlapping items, but we don't have them there. That's a bit interesting in itself. We can probably actually make these 2 lanes the whole way, so that might give us a bit more space. Potentially. All right. So, as ridiculous as it looks, I think that's going to be quite an effective interchange. But yeah, we also want to turn off traffic lights. So, I think that actually all makes sense, really. We might be able to make this a bit more compact by taking this down to a 2-lane highway. I don't know if we really need 4 lanes, to be completely honest. Then what we should be able to do and that should make a little bit more sense now. I reckon we've done a decent job. Decent, if not, you know, not stunning, but I think this all makes relative sense, anyway. Now, I do have a few plans for this little bit of hillside here. So let's get a slope terrain tool running. Just the whole way across. I'll just soften it around the edges here. And we're pretty much good to go now. We, of course, need power, water, all of that stuff. Don't know all of your complaints. Okay. And I think which direction does our rail flow from? It flows in the other direction. That's unfortunate, but we can have one rail connection here. That is absolutely fine. We could even get some sidings in like over here, actually. That's actually probably makes perfect sense. Trying to work out where we'll actually connect this rail line to, because it doesn't really go anywhere from here. I do want to connect it up. We might just build a stub for the moment because I want to get the rest of this operating, reasonably quickly. All right, and I think probably the overall idea we'll have is that the rail line will probably run around the outside of our motorway and connect up sort of in this area here. Potentially, but yeah, I'm not going to think too much further about that because I just want to get the rest of this stuff, on and working. We're probably going to need a substation, at least one substation in this area because, our power requirements are going to be quite significant. We should be able to connect up pretty directly to our power plant, I think. I just realized I had Anarchy on, so hopefully that's all worked fine and it looks okay. So, power is now sorted. Now we just need our water and sewerage. We might try and go for a more direct route. Straight across. They connected? Yes. Okay, so this should now be fine to start running, to be honest. So we will get our commercial zones in. And once again, I'm going to be, or our industrial zones, I should say. I'm going to be focusing on trying to get mostly warehouses in this area. We'll get a few offices in as well. We get metro down there. Surprisingly not. That's actually very interesting. So that means that we are going to need to get a heavy rail line in there, which, unfortunate, but it is what it is. But it does mean that we are going to need to get at least one bus route in. I would suggest maybe two, with sort of a bit of an express route into the CBD. If you're from Melbourne or Australia, I'm thinking sort of a Skybus type bus route. Pretty much just, picks up and drops off, and that's it. And hopefully, if we're pretty much going into the CBD, it's going to be traveling via the motorway. So where do we want this to be? Potentially right at our main station, I think. I just want to check. Yeah, we have used motorway. Perfect. Actually, that's yeah, really good route. I'm happy with that. And where else could we have a bus traveling to? Maybe into Concord. Concord's sort of our other sort of main CBD type area. Yep, I think that is another logical connection. We'll get a Skybus red. Very nice. And we've also got our ferry terminal over here, which I sort of forgot about, not going to lie. And we might just get like a shuttle bus service, which will take our passengers just from the dock sort of into the airport, because that does provide a bit of an opportunity to sort of change. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Why does the airport to city only have one stop? Actually, I know the answer to this. It's because I have placed it down where there isn't a bus stop. Can we just place one there? Will it sort of connect up? It looks like it has. No. There we go. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to switch over our cargo routes to operate via our new port. And do we have any other? No, so we've only got 2 routes we can take there. That is fine. And then we'll do the same with our passenger line. Oh, pathfinding failed. Oh. Why? Do we need to maybe only have, hang on, 1 connection there? Is that what's causing the confusion? Yeah, it looks like it. All right. All right. So this cargo terminal is now, you know, sort of surplus to requirements. It's not actually in use anymore, though. We've probably got a few trains that will drop off there, or trucks going to trains anyway that will drop off there. But we can probably... Actually, no, we can't. I was going to say we can probably move the train line as well, but we can't because it's not connected. But I wonder if we can sneak in a rail connection across sort of next to Fairview Highway and sort of cut through here. That might actually work. Oh man, that is... Oh. What is that about? Gross. Okay, that should be better. All right, so that... No, it doesn't connect up. I was going to say, that connects up now. No, it actually doesn't. And it actually doesn't really make a lot of sense being there. Thought we'd sorted it. Okay. I mean, it's looking all right, to be honest. I think we can fairly easily make the connection there. All right, that's done. Now we can actually make our heavy rail connection to the airport itself, it looks like. Lovely. So now we can actually switch our cargo train route to no longer run to there. And stand run to over here. Excellent. So there's now literally no reason for cargo to go here. Might just turn it off. And we can come back and delete it eventually. Alrighty, and I think I might just try and fill out some of the space we've got here with some offices. We're going to leave this sort of corridor free. That's sort of our, our flight path. But I think we should be able to fit in some offices in this sort of area here. And we'll do the same over here as well. Would it be a little bit annoying that if you have to go to work, you literally have to come in on the motorway? And then to leave, if you want to like go into the terminal to grab lunch or something like that, you need to, if you're going to drive, of course, you can just walk. And that's probably the smart thing to actually do. But you would have to like come out on the highway or the motorway and then do a big loop around. I don't know. Is that silly? It probably is. But it is what it is. There's way too many buses. How many buses do we have there? Blah. Let's go like 7. And SB2. 5. Don't need that many buses whatsoever. We'll also put a parking fee on as well, a quite significant one. We want to be trying to encourage people to use public transport. It does look as though we've actually run out of buses as well. So where was our bus depot? Had one over here. Did we have another one? Or did we only have one bus depot? Now, surely we've got another one somewhere, right? Over here? No? Over here. Yeah. Okay. So that's our original bus depot. We might need to get a few more vehicles running. So it might allow some high density on sort of one side of this street, have low density on the other side, and over here, well, the high density is all right, the whole place. Now, finally, I wanted to do a little bit of something on this hillside. And I think Well, just watch. Just watch. I'm not going to talk through this. I don't know if that was worth the effort, to be honest. It's a pretty poor piece of design. But hey, who cares? If you're coming in, you would, see... If you're flying in, maybe your flights had to go around or it's delayed or something like that. You're a bit pissed off. But then you come around and you see this wonderful welcome to Azure Delta, riding in plants on the ground. And maybe you might just think it was a little bit less annoying having to be delayed seeing that. I also just remembered to get planes flying, we actually need to create plane routes. So we'll need to do that. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 different destinations. And we'll get some cargo plane routes in as well. All right, so now we should actually start to see some planes flying in. And that means we should hopefully get a bit of utilization in this area as well. I would actually like to fill out this area a bit more as well, to be honest. We probably don't need... Just thinking. Oh, hang on. You're not supposed to connect up. No. Okay, that's a bit better. And I'm wondering what we could put here. We could put a little bit of commercial in. And I just wonder if we couldn't get a tiny bit of high density residential. Surely there would be some people that lived sort of right close to the airport. It's a bit odd, but I think we could get in a few little tiny bits of it. Well, obviously it's mostly going to be commercial. Well, it makes sense as well for us to have a fire department in this area as well, like quite a major station that'll allow us to respond to, airport fires, things like that. Also a police station as well. Maybe a little clinic. If you heard some crinkling just before then, my cat was doing his best to crinkle all that he could crinkle. So there's that. Cool. Looks like we're looking pretty good here. I reckon we should have dedicated turning lanes here. I also think we should probably just have these as regular roads rather than highway roads. Probably. And same in the other direction as well. Cool. Cool. Well, that is going to be about all we've got time for in this episode. I think this is possibly a massive one, even disregarding the massive amount of time I spent building that little mural over there that you can't even see due to LODs. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You'll find links to my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patron, Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for helping to make this content possible. If you want to help out at home, you can do so by jumping on to patreon.com/BobDendry, by becoming a member of the YouTube channel, or you can just leave a super thanks on this video if you want to give a one-off thanks for the content. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Cities Skylines 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.